Hey guys, Civilord here, back in with another action figure review. Today we'll be taking a look at the Popeye Classics, the Goon, brought to us by the fine folks over at Boss Fight Studios. And no, I don't mean that the Goon that Mezco made back in the day that's based off a comic book character that did cross over with Metalocalypse aka Death Clock once. Try saying that 5 times fast. I'm talking about the savages from the old Popeye series that have very phallic-shaped noses. What is up with that? His nose looks like a schlong. Let's just address the elephant in the room, or the half-naked wild man in the room. We done? Alright. Moving right along, why don't we cut right to the chase and get into the meat and taters of this review and take a look-see at all the Goon has to offer in terms of accessories. Starting off with a pair of grip hands. It's all fine and dandy. And for those grip hands, he does have his club, which has some little prickers on it, which are relatively sharp, so be careful with that. But as far as getting it into his hand here, you just kind of shove it in. That's what she said. And there you go. There he is holding his club. It's a pretty tight fit. Shove it in there a little more. That way it stays nice and tight. But there you go. Taking a closer look at the Goon himself. Again, what is with this nose? And where's his mouth? I don't even see a mouth on this guy. He looks so friggin' weird. His eyes are down here. His nose is down here. Like, is this a beak? What is this? What is going on here? Hope I don't get flagged for this. I will say, I love the proportions of this guy. He's got the big, broad shoulders, the hunched back, which you can make even more hunched if you tilt his head down. Like that. Giving him a massive hunch and a bit of a gap back here, so maybe don't do that. Do that instead. His spine is poking out down here. Now there is a bit of a seam line here, but I think that's just from the mold. Maybe it's glued or something. I don't know. It's very odd that that is there, but it's there nonetheless. He's got fur around his arms, fur around his legs, and of course this little furry booty shorts going on there. But as far as articulation on this guy goes, his head can look up and down on the top of the ball peg as well as the bottom, and then you do get some pretty decent rotation on top of that. I mean, look at that. You can look all the way to the side with that very odd shape to his neck, which is very nice. And of course, he can rotate and be like the Exorcist and go, But that is that. Shoulders can kick out this far. I don't think you can. You can get them out a little bit farther, but not by much. They will get caught after a while. They can rotate back and forth. You just have a single jointed elbow with rotation, as well as a swivel in the wrist. Almost looks like he's trying to do the Spider-Man thwip there. Not so much on this side, but on this side. He's got a really good ball joint in the waist. He can crunch all the way forward. Not so much back, but he can rotate and lean side to side. Like, this big, ridiculous, cartoony character has better torso articulation than most Marvel Legends. It's hilarious to me. Hips will kick out about this far. Back down, forward, back. He does have a little thigh cut in there because these are just stray ball sockets. Not the tightest, but not the loosest. The knee swivel could be a little tighter, at least on that side. This side, it's not great. He does have a single jointed knee, again with rotation. That's not the tightest, but I could probably even fix that if I wanted to. And then he has straight up like ankle joints with a hinge back and forth and a rocker. And no pink holes at the bottom of the feet. I did have to chip some crud off the inside of this foot, though. But other than that, a solid figure from this line. Probably the most fun I've had with one of these, just because of the articulation scheme. It's a lot better than some. Probably because he doesn't have the giant, we'll say, bell-bottom pants, for lack of a better term. And then you just swap in the hand with the club, and you're ready to go. Like, it's a decent little figure. And if I'm not mistaken, an army builder of sorts, because there was more than one of these guys in the show. There was like a whole island full of them. But, yeah, that is the Goon in a nutshell. Again, not to be confused with that comic book character, or what most nerds do to fictional female characters they see on the internet. Standing him up there. He's pretty decent size for this line, but he's not as big as Tor the Terrible, who we looked at yesterday. Check that review out if you haven't already. Would really appreciate it if you did. Not for nothing, I have since put a lot of my Popeye figures away. I think Tor is the only other one I have out. I think I finally put Roughhouse and, is it Castor Oil, the little dude? Both of them are in storage, so one of these days I'll have to break out the whole collection, maybe do a video showcase for you guys, all of them. But before we wrap this up, why don't we bring in our two regulars. We've got the Mythic Legion's Brother Mandiboleth and the infamous 11th Spawn, who, as usual, towers over everyone. So, with that being said, it's time now that we wrap things up with some final thoughts. Overall, and despite the fact that good old Goon here is probably the least interesting character out of this entire Popeye Classics line from the fine folks over at Boss Fight Studios, I have to go out on a limb and say that he is probably the most fun figure out of all of the ones I've reviewed anyways. I don't have the Sea Hag or Poop Deck Pappy yet. Maybe someday. But out of all of the figures I've reviewed, this guy is the most fun to mess around with. Probably because he has actual hinged ankles with rocker joints as opposed to the ball socket feet that we're used to seeing from this line because, well, the nature of pants. As a matter of fact, I think Olive Oil also has the same ankle joints, but she was a little tricky to balance, so I gotta give the edge to the Goon here. I don't know what it is about this phallic-shaped nose savage, but I just enjoy messing around with him for whatever reason. So, with that being said, hope you guys enjoyed this review. Until next time, I'll catch you guys later.